All right, everybody. We are probably live right now, but it's still spinning, so I may start this over again.
I think we're live.
Go live. Hold on. If we are, I feel silly because the clock isn't ticking. If we're live, I don't know it. I'm going to go see if we're live on Facebook right now.
The clock's ticking for me.
Is it really? Why isn't it ticking for me? Oh boy.
I got the notification on my phone too that you're
live. So right now I look like a bit of a dummy, hey?
No.
Yeah, we're live. There we are. Okay. And there it is. And this is After Hours, everybody. Welcome. You're live. I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? I don't even care that we just did that because this is After Hours. This is where we get to relax and chill.
This is the chill one. So
yeah, this is the chill one. Exactly. So before we really get into the chill episode, guys, it's so weird that happened. I remember that's never happened to me with StreamYard before. But anyway, that guy over there is Brian Palmer. Brian, welcome to Sports Cards Live. This is After Hours. We're going to chill, talk some hobby, debrief this episode that we just had. But before we do, I kind of, as always, even though this is After Hours, I still want to explain how we know each other. So really, you're a guy that's been, first of all, you've been a member on Hobby Insider, which is the website, the message board that I'm pretty active. I'm the lead admin on. I own the site, if you will. And since 2012, you've been a member there for a long time. You go by JT McCool. And but more so than that, you've come to the expo. I think you come to every expo. You live in the GTA, correct?
GTA-ish, actually.
Where do you live?
Well, actually, oddly enough, I live in London, Ontario, the former home of O-Pee-Chee. So.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you come to the expo, are you like traveling there for the day, or do you come and get a hotel room for a night and stay for a couple nights? How do you do that?
It's about a 2-hour drive, so I just come up for the day.
Okay.
I have multiple days I'll stay over, but most of the time it's just for the day.
Yeah, and that's probably enough. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. To me, I need all 3 days there. So even if I'm just there as a patron, but I've only been there as a patron once in the last 15 years. Every other time I've been there set up, and that was because I didn't think I'd be able to go. And then last minute, I got my folks to come in and help my wife with the kids. So I was like, I'm going to Toronto for a couple of days. But so the best memory I have with you, Brian, is I don't know what year this was. We're probably going back at least 6, 7, 8 years. And I'm at my booth, and Brian comes up, and I kind of know who you are. I think I know who you are a little bit. I recognize you. And you come up and you buy a card off me. It's a Wayne Gretzky jersey card from Upper Deck Ultimate Collection. It's a Team Canada jersey, and it's numbered out of 50. It's got a big red swatch in it, like a big red jumbo. I think it's a premium swatches card. And you buy the card. So everybody, this is what I want to tell everybody, because this is it's honest to God, Brian, it's one of my favorite expo memories of all time. And I probably told you that.
I'm honored.
Yeah, it truly is. So he buys the card from me, and hey man, thanks for the deal. See you next time. And then I watch him walk away from my table, and he walks away like this. Like he's walking. He's not looking where he's going. He's looking at the card right in front of his face as he walks away from the table, just like oogling this card. And I thought, what a great placement of a card into someone's collection that was, because this guy loves that card. And I swear, I still have a vivid picture in my head of you walking away, looking at the card with with adoration for it. You still have it? Do you still have the card?
I have that card right here.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, that's the one. That's as far as a jersey card goes, like what a great card. Team Canada and the big red swatch.
It's actually out of 35. To correct you. Sorry about that, but
no, please.
It's I love the card. In my defense, I did know where I was going peripherally. I was pretty sure I was going to run into anyone, but 95% of my focus was on the card. So
yeah, it was. That was a proud moment for me as a vendor at the show to it's like, you sell cards and sometimes you don't know where they're going to end up. Is the guy going to just go flip it at the next booth, or is he going to put it on eBay when he gets home, or is it going into his personal collection? And when you walked away with that card, I had no doubt it was going into your personal collection. So that was that's the first card I remember selling to you specifically. And then ever since then, you've come back to the expo. I see you at all the expos, and you said to me one time, you're at the booth, you're like, it's my rule that I have to buy something from you at every expo. So I'm just trying to figure out what it's going to be. I'm like, hey man, no pressure, but wow, am I ever honored and flattered that it's like your custom. I think you said that you buy a card from me specifically at every show, and another flattering and cool thing to hear from somebody. I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Anything you can sort of say about that, or just about your memories of buying cards from me at the show?
Well, I think I mentioned to you at expos. I'm not a high end collector. I'm not coming in there with a wad of cash like some people. And I'm not a lot of bullets in the chamber. And I know your booth. You're always going to have really nice cards. They're always fairly priced. They're not crazy prices. They're what they're worth. So I know I'm going to get some quality at a fair price, and it's always great to talking to you, hanging out with you for a bit at the expo. So it's definitely one of the most personal dealers there for sure.
Thank you.
So I mean, I don't know if I bought a card at every expo. Sometimes it doesn't line up, but yeah, I do make it a point absolutely to visit your booth every expo, and always hopeful to come home with something, because I've gotten some nice ones from you, that's for sure. So thank you very much.
Hey, my pleasure. So speaking of getting nice ones from me, I asked you earlier today, I think, I know that you bought cards off me at the expo. I'd love to be. I remember that Gretzky card, but I can't. I'm cheating because you kind of reminded me today of one or two others. But I'll just for the sake of storytelling, I can't really remember the other cards you've bought from me over the years. Can you did you pull them out? Can you show the few that you have over the? I mean, it's not like you bought dozens of cards off me. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Most recent one, actually, the virtual expo. I got a nice PSA dime Sundin rookie, and this one not an expo, so it's a bit of a cheat. But I bought this from you this year. Just an absolutely gorgeous Raymond Bourque patch, ultimate patch there.
That's 0506, I believe, isn't it? 2005.
It is. The post lockout year, so a fun time collect. That's actually when I got back into it, really full on. So
05 is when you got back into the hobby.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never really left the hobby, but at post lockout, the double rookie cohort with Ovechkin and Crosby, that's when I really stepped it up and really got back into it full time. I was always before I was in university. So there's other stuff going on. You're having other kind of fun. So
yeah,
that was kind of my return. I've gotten a Lemieux rookie from you, raw.
Yeah. Okay.
The classic pro set, the best pro set card ever made, right here.
Me Stanley too, Cup. For sure. Stanley. I wouldn't sell that to you if I had that now. I wouldn't sell it to you again. I'd keep it.
I don't blame you. You did have a couple in your showcase.
I do. I still do. I probably have 4 of those right now that I own. I'd say 1 or 2 are personal collection, and the rest are kind of inventory. But I'm happy to hoard that card. It's a card I think is very special for the hobby. So I really like that card. Yeah,
absolutely of a unique era in the hobby, and there's nothing ever like pro set. So
well, and that's really I believe the first. Well, I mean, it's to me, it's the first true insert card in the set in the hockey hobby. I mean, and what's the numbering on that one? Because they're out of 5,000, but some were mistakenly numbered as out of 10,000. What does that one show?
This one says number 2296 of 5,000.
Yeah,
you can.
There and hand numbered on the backs. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, man. Well, let's. I do want to get into a bit about sort of what the hobby is to you, what it means to you. But let's just see who we have with us. We have Joe. Joe, welcome to the show. It's been nice chatting with you on Instagram, buddy. Carlos, so yeah, that was a bit of a funny beginning to the show. Yeah, Carlos uses StreamYard as well. And Carlos, when you hit go live, it says go live in front of you, and then, or you're live, and then in the top corner, you see the clock ticking from 0 to 1 second to 2 and so forth. That didn't show up for me. So I'm like, are we live? I'm not quite sure, but we were live. So thank you for that. I have all the guys telling me we're live. Awesome. Names here. Thank you. Name: Chris West, Tim Marin, Paul Cashman, Carlos, Joe, Chris West, Eric Westrom. Hello, After Hours Dojo. Legion, welcome back. It's important to appreciate our cards. Oh, yes. Yeah, that Gretzky card is beautiful. Chris West, what do we have? In Oddball Card Hobby News, a PSA 10 1985 Topps sticker of Hulk Hogan sold for $1,100, and a 1986 Panini Super Sport Italian Mike Tyson rookie sticker in PSA 8 is currently at $3,210 with over 5 days left. Interesting. Thank you for the tidbit, Chris. Eric, that's wild. Back in the late 80s, I had a bunch of WWF cards. Too bad they're long gone. Pretty interesting. Terry, welcome back. Footy cards. Hi there from down under. Love it. Welcome from Australia. I don't know if you've heard me say it before, Footy, but I spent a year there after high school. I was in Australia from September 1990 until April of 1991. So not about 8 months. And I started in Sydney, went all the way up to Cairns, over to Alice Springs, down to Adelaide, and back to Sydney. So I missed like Darwin, Adelaide, Melbourne, and Tasmania were the bigger areas I missed. But that was a fun trip. So welcome to the show. Rod, welcome to the show, my man. Great to have you. That was fun. I got to talk about Australia for a second there on my trip. I worked at the Hard Rock Cafe in Sydney, Australia as a busboy. I went there right out of high school with a friend of mine. We were 18 years old. Our parents let us go. Even at 18 years old, our parents let us go. And I got the job we got the job at the Hard Rock Cafe as busboys. And the collector gene lived in me then too, because as an employee, you got, they had the guitar pins.
Yeah.
Right. And the t-shirts. So you as a kid, I don't know if you ever went to Hard Rocks around the world, but you'd get a pin from each one. Right. So I got the staff pin, and the staff pin was, it was like Eddie Van Halen's Flying V guitar with black and the white kind of wavy stripes through it. I think it's what it was. And then if you had a really good shift, the manager would give you a gold pin. So I got 2 of those. And there was a guy came in one day, a customer, and he's like, "Hey, I want to buy those pins off your apron." I'm like, "Well, I'm not selling my staff pin because I'm a collector too, but I'll sell you one of my gold pins." He gave me $100 Australian at the time, which was like 100 Canadian at the time. So I got $100 for this one staff pin. That Hard Rock Cafe in Sydney, Australia ended up burning down several years later and has since been rebuilt. But it was on William and Crown Streets. I'll never forget.
That's funny. When as soon as you worked at the Hard Rock Cafe, I was thinking, did you get the pins and did you get to have a shirt? And but that's the collector. Yeah.
I actually have my pin collection is sitting down there. People used to come in and trade pins with each other at the restaurant, and I ended up getting I started collecting them myself for many years. I don't anymore, but I never got rid of them, and I still have them. And it just so happens that I joined a Facebook group for Hard Rock Cafe pins like several years ago by now, and I put some pictures of what I had because I didn't know. And one guy's like, "Well, that one there is worth like $300." I'm like, "Oh, that's wicked." I had no clue. So that's pretty funny. Joe says, "Terry, you're good for 4 hours." Carlos, we need an update on some AFL cards. Jeremy, yeah, AFL or CFL. I was Brian and I before we came on. We're like, "Oh, who did I offend with that CFL comment earlier today?" Rod puts up a link to some Hard Rock Cafe pins. Yeah, I can't really copy this link. I don't think I can copy, but anyway, thanks. So, what does Joe say? I finally received my 2020 project, my Topps 2020 project cards 3 months later. Thanks, Topps. I was starting to wonder. Yeah. It's funny because we were just talking about Topps Project 2020 briefly before we came on here. Brian was in here waiting for me actually, because me and Bobby ended up chatting for another 10 minutes, just kind of, talking about how the show went and saying, "Hey, we'll talk to you again. We'll have you on again when his website / app actually launches." And good. So we talked till about 10 after 10 my time, and Brian was here waiting and came in, and I went to the bathroom, grabbed some more water, etc. And so here we are. Black and red doesn't sound like I said black and white. I meant black and white. Flying V, his most famous iconic. I could probably pull that pin out. If we have time, I'll pull the pin out.
I think we'd all like to see it. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll grab them actually. But let's talk about the episode that you watched the whole thing. Did you not, Brian?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for doing that, because it adds to this show now, because I think it's kind of cool to talk about that. So I'll say I thought Bobby was an awesome guest.
Absolutely.
He was, and he told me after, he said that it was his first interview, and I'm like, wow, like, first of all, what an honor that you accepted my invitation for your first live interview. But I thought he did a great job. He was articulative, and great video, great audio, great lighting. Like everything was just you're an ideal guest, if you will, for a show that's going to go for like 2 hours. And it's funny because he says to me after the show, he goes, "Did you not get my messages?" I'm like, "No, sorry, man. I wasn't looking at my phone." He goes, when I asked you to put on the O-Pee-Chee video, he's like, "I had to go to the bathroom so bad." And it kept on going. He's like, "Okay, let's watch that video." And that's when he went to the bathroom. It's funny. I always say to people, and I forgot to tell him, these shows can go well. Make sure you go to the bathroom first. And so somewhat my bad for not warning him about that. But what'd you think of the show? Any key points or anything you thought was kind of takeaway for you?
I love the entire show. As I mentioned, I do own a copy of the 2006 edition of the Vintage Hockey Collector. I devoured that book when I got it. I absolutely loved it. It was just so much fun, just reading and just picturing what it would be like to be a kid to get those premiums, those food premiums, back in the 30s and the 40s, and then when it got a little more modern, it kind of like tied into stuff that I it's been a while since I looked through. I don't know if you got into like the 80s food issues that I remember, but I love that book. It was great listening. I mean, what a fountain of knowledge of the hobby and the oddball stuff, and just he casually pulls out the York peanut butter jar where the cards would have been under, and it really blew my mind. He has an O-Pee-Chee thriller, like the hockey jersey, because that manufacturers league I'm in London. My dad talks about that manufacturers league.
Really?
They would print scores in a newspaper. That's how big it was in London. Like Kellogg's had a factory here. McCormick's made cookies, and they all had teams in it. So that was, I don't know how much that jersey would be worth. I would love to stumble upon that in a vintage store here in London, because I would scoop it up for sure.
Well, would you scoop it up and then sell it to me? Because, and no. I say no, I know I say that jokingly, because I'm thinking to myself, like, I have a couple game used jerseys. The one over that shoulder there, that's my Teppo Newman that I wear at the expo all the time, which I got to move over again. I put the umbrella away, so I forgot to move it back. And I have a Phil Housley Winnipeg Jets game worn jersey, and it's sitting in a drawer upstairs. I don't even really like. I probably sell it because I'm not going to display it. It doesn't mean anything to me. But if I were to acquire O-Pee-Chee Thrillers jersey, I would frame that bad boy and I would hang it up, because I would, believe it or not, I'd rather have that than an NHL game worn jersey, because I don't collect game worn jerseys. I collect cards as far as cards go. And the card hobby history is so interesting and important to me that I'd rather have that jersey than an NHL game worn jersey. Call me crazy, but it's what I like.
I get it. I own several NHL game worn jerseys, but if I get a O-Pee-Chee Thrillers, that would be near the top of what I own for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a stunning piece, and looks like he's got an incredible collection there. And I think I'm gonna have to pick up the more recent version of VHC.
Yeah. He said there's a few left, and I know that last time I asked him, he was he runs out. He only does a finite print run of these things, and then they're gone. And when they're gone, they're gone. He doesn't go back to second printing or anything. So, but he's got this website coming out now and some information there. So
that's good.
What does let's see, what do we have here? The guitar has various names. Do you have a Pinnacle Fantasy jersey, Jeremy? I do not, Chris, but I think I've seen that. But see, I do have a Pinnacle jacket. I don't know if you guys can see. I have this. I might have shown this before at some point. I've picked up this Upper Deck jacket, which is like this. Chris Carlin wears one of these. It's a cool like Letterman jacket. It's got the buttons down there. It's got the leather trim, the leather sleeves, the big the original Upper Deck logo there, and of course the big one there. Like, I got this off of Kijiji here in Calgary,
Wow.
And the guy also had a Pinnacle jacket. I think it's a Pinnacle jacket, but it's in the other room, so I'm not going to grab it right now. But I'll move this over here. And I'm just gonna give me 1 sec, guys. I'm gonna grab my my pin collection just to show the staff pin, so that I can show Chris what it actually was. Brian, in the meantime, I'm gonna ask you. So while I'm just kind of over there, because I'm curious, like I don't really know what you collect. You showed me the cards that you bought from me. What are some of the other cards? Like when you go to the expo, what are you kind of looking for? Do you have a target list, or are you going to see what kind of catches your eye?
I'm very frustrating for dealers because whenever I'm at the expo and they ask me, what are you looking for? It's whatever catches my eye. I used to have like sets I collected. I used to have a player collection of Alexander Steen. At one point I was probably the world's premier Alexander Steen collector. So it's something I'm very proud of, obviously. But now it's just whatever catches my eye, and that's probably one of the reasons I like to come by your booth, because it always, something there's going to catch my eye. And it's mostly hockey. I have a lot of baseball cards as well. If I could show one of my favorite baseball cards.
Yeah, of course.
Got not too long ago. It's a Ricky Henderson autograph card, but he's pictured as a Blue Jay.
Okay.
Because he was briefly, Ricky Henderson's my guy. I always love Ricky. He was a Blue Jay for a few months for the '93 World Series, and there's not too many autograph cards of him shown as a Blue Jay. So I'm very happy to have that in my collection. But it runs the gamut. Whatever I see, sometimes it's oddball stuff that that Bobby would be more familiar with. It's that's why the expo is so fun for me, because I don't know what I'm going to come home with. So.
Well, I'll say, when you're a collector, that you just really go to the shows to find what catches your eye. It's such a low pressure way to collect, right? Because you're like, I don't need to hunt anything. I'll just browse the booths, and if I see something I like, I'm going to add it to my collection, and that makes your collection a real story. Like if you're just collecting, if you're just collecting New York Ranger players, or all you collect is Sidney Crosby, or all you collect is this one set from that one year, it's like, it's great, and there's some story to it, but it's a very short story, really. But when I guess I got to think about that, because if you're collecting all New York Rangers, that could be a long story too, from when they came into the original 6 days until now. But you know what I mean? Like when you're just collecting random things, it's like every card has a totally different kind of story behind it. So I found the page in here. Here's how I keep these pins, guys. I have a binder, and I have these felt kind of things. So I put the pin through the felt. Okay. And then I put another cover over it, and then there they are. So there's the staff pin. You can see it right there. It says staff on it, I believe, right out of the Hard Rock. So there it is, Chris. That was the staff one. And then the gold pin, there's 2 golds right there. I ended up getting another one. I don't know, it's hard to see. There they are. There's the color shining through. So that gold pin was only given to employees when they had like a really good shift, I guess. So I had 3, I guess. I sold 1, and I still have 2. And the staff pin, like, how could I ever sell that? I got that thing. Gosh, I got that 30 years ago. I got that pin as a staff member at Hard Rock Cafe. So I'll never move it. But there's a whole bunch of. I ended up anywhere I went. I grabbed, and whenever there was a Hard Rock, I'd go in, and even as a kid, like you go to Mexico on vacation, wherever, and I'd buy like one of each pin that they had, and managed to trade with some staff people there, and that's fun. There's a whole bunch in here, but like I just showed you that one page. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 8 pages in here full of Hard Rock Cafe pins from all over the place. Some from Iceland, from Mexico, all that sort of thing.
There's a Hard Rock Cafe in Reykjavik.
Yeah, Reykjavik. That's where it's from. They're the Reykjavik ones. Yeah.
Well, that's the only Icelandic city I know. So.
Yeah, same here. And I only know it because I have the Hard Rock Cafe pins. So, Chris, now that you've seen it, what can you tell me about the name of that guitar on that pin? Some comments have come in. Let's see. What is Paul? Paul has a nice long comment. It's weird. I caught pieces the first hour. We'll have to rewatch to get the full Bobby experience. When I was a kid, my first card I recall seeing hanging on to was a Kraft Yari Curry. I just bought one I found on eBay. That's nostalgia right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, name. It's a sick jacket. I'm gonna try that jacket on because when I first got these two jackets, they kind of smelled like mothballs. The guy hadn't worn them like in a long time, so I just still kind of stinks. But it's got to be small on me. I got to think, yeah, like it.
I think next expo you should bring that and just walk with confidence to the upper deck booth and start ordering people around.
I should, right?
You're jumping.
This is nice. This is a nice soft leather. It's it's a little short on me, but
it's a beauty jacket, absolutely.
Right. To me, this is hobby history. This is why I want it. It's a collectible to me, right? And this, I love this logo. I want one of those original neon signs that some card shops have. But look at how big that thing is back there.
Got to let them know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool jacket. I'm happy to have it for sure. They couldn't have made that many of them, right? Because the guy I got this from, so the guy had it on Kijiji, which is, like Craigslist up here in Canada. I know, Brian, just for everybody else's benefit. And he said he advertised the Pinnacle Brands one. So I said, hey, I'll take it. I think I paid him like $80 for both jackets. So I got it like for nothing, basically, that's pretty cheap for this jacket's probably worth like $400 and just production wise, right? Like with all the leather. Yeah. I paid him $80 for both of them. And I asked him, I said, where did you get these things? Because like some random guy where in the city I live in, he said that back in the 90s, he was the Calgary or Southern Alberta distributor for Upper Deck and Pinnacle Brands and all these guys. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Hey, that's a good source for me. So he had it because he was doing business with Upper Deck. So there can't be that many of them.
No, I know. That's incredible luck. Like, I mean, it would be interested in that. Just looking at Kijiji at that time, and I mean, how many are there? Would there be in Canada even?
Who knows? Like maybe a dozen. I have no idea. Maybe one for all I know, right? But it's pretty cool. Joe, yeah, that's the first ever fashion show on Sports Cards Live. Very nice jacket. Thank you. So I get the appeal of vintage food collectibles. I have to think there's more to that comment. Oh, because of the Yari Curry card. That's right. I remember the Steen collection from years ago. There you go. Chris remembers your Steen collection. Yeah. Don't sleep on AFL cards. As Aussies, love our Aussie rules. And there are some cool cards out there. And Simon, I thought that the next comment here was about CFL cards. So my bad. And I'm glad to hear that you guys collect AFL cards down there. That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. 100%. Simon, Carlos, what are you saying to Simon? What are you guys talking about? He says, I'm actually looking into it. I enjoy the sport when I get to watch it, but I don't have a sense for sets yet. Yeah, makes sense. Old school Upper Deck jacket. Yes, Joe. So any recent pickups, Brian, that have come in that you can show us, or did you kind of show the cards you have already pulled out?
I haven't really got much in. As I mentioned earlier today, I just recently got an 81 Donruss Jack Nicklaus
right on
card. It hasn't arrived yet, so I'm excited to get that. I guess it's his first regular American release, so it would be a rookie card. But he had some Italian Panini stickers in the '60s that go for a lot of money. That some might consider his rookie card.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't really got anything too exciting in lately. But I know you have a nice stack of cards, and I'm excited to see.
I had one of the things I kind of planned to do on the after hour show is just kind of show my pickups for the week that came in, that landed in the mailbox. And I was lucky earlier this week. I got my ComC shipment that I don't know how many cards it is, but they've been sitting here all night. I've been kind of looking at the pile, and there's probably, I don't know, 30 cards here altogether. There's these ones kind of in top loaders, a couple of thicker cards. There are a couple that aren't from ComC here too. And then 4 graded or slabbed cards. 3 are graded, 1 is just slabbed. And I'm happy to show them if people are interested. I mean, I don't want to kind of just make it all about my pickups, but at the same time, I don't do pickup videos. So this is kind of the opportunity, I guess. Hey?
Oh yeah, I imagine. I'm always excited. Like mail days back in the day were great on Hobby Insider. There's one card I wouldn't mind showing. I've had it for a while, but it's although I don't have a big Alexander Steen collection anymore, I do still do the eBay search, and I got this one not too long ago. It's a young gun rookie, but it's the high gloss out of 10.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
and I think I got it just because 12 years ago I would have just gone nuts for this card, and I still love this card. I mean, the high glossy for that year, like they look great, and it's a PSA 9, so not bad, and one of my favorite cards. So I got that out of the stuff, and I wanted to share it. So.
Well, I'm glad. Dude, I wasn't expecting that. And that's, first of all, PSA 9 is a very strong grade. But like I don't know why PSA 9s get so little love, but they should. It's a mint condition card. So, that's great. But there's only 10 of them made. You have to get lucky to find one at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. So if I'm you and I find one, I would have taken a PSA 4 and still been very happy with it, because to me, cards like that, and I've said it before, it's just about owning the card, finding and being able to own the card. The grade is almost secondary, but PSA 9 is a super strong grade for that card, I would say. That's awesome.
I think I'm in too many Facebook groups with basketball and baseball guys, and anything less than a PSA 10,
Yeah.
PSA 9, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Rod, you just bought one. What did you just buy, Rod? Is that the I think he might be talking about the Jack Nicklaus Donruss, but I'd love to hear from you, Rod, if that's what it was. Joe wants to see the mail day. All right. What is Carlos? Since I can't third wheel here, I got to educate myself on AFL cards while you're doing your fashion show, Jeremy. Hey, keep on chatting in the background. That's all good. I get to see you guys talking. That's so fun.
It's slowly morphed into an Aussie Rules football YouTube stream.
Yeah, I just love the way Carlos states things. He's got this tone to his and Carlos and I communicate a lot, and I love the way you communicate, Carlos. That's hilarious, guys. I didn't say it before. I forgot, but if you haven't heard me say it, check out his YouTube channel. It's because I'm Carlos, one of my favorites. Check it out for sure. Simon wants to see my ComC cards. Terry wants to see them. Yeah. Simon says nothing wrong with PSA 9. Got to agree with that. Marco Sturm has 20 high gloss from 20506, and I've seen 20 high gloss. How could you have 20 high gloss cards?
Maybe a typo?
Maybe. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, Burrell's book. You just picked up Burrell's book. Got it. $40. There you go. Yeah. It's a beautiful book. It really is. I will say, for me, the original book is I prefer it more because it's got bigger, bolder pictures of all the different things that came in. Like, if the display boxes, the wrappers, any other premiums that were within the packs, if it was like a redemption card, not a redemption, that's not the right word nowadays, but like a contest card or something like that might have come in the pack. 84s had those. I still have one. Oh, he's in Series 1 and Series 2. He got traded in the package for Joe Thornton. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I'll show some cards here that it came in. I'll start with the graded cards. I'm going to start with this card. So, as many of you know, I collect the in the game Ultimate Memorabilia 1-of-1 jumbo patch cards, and they rarely come up anymore. I do the patches, the numbers, and the tags. So this came up on eBay the other day, and I grabbed it. It's a Getzlaff. It's an Ultimate number card, 1-of-1, and it was, it's got a nice puck mark right on it too. You can see it on the bottom there, the white, kind of really cool piece. And they're, $50, $60, whatever it was, relatively cheap for a 1-of-1 of a guy who's possibly going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, possibly, I would say.
Really?
Well, doesn't he have, didn't he win a cup?
He did. He definitely won a cup.
Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but he's maybe not a Hall of Famer, but still a good player.
If Guy Carbonneau's a Hall of Famer, I guess.
Rod says our old book is $148 US on eBay, and people will pay it. People will pay it for Bobby's original book. I'm sure.
2003 one or the 2006 one?
The 6 one. Sorry, I never owned the 03 one. It's more about wrappers, right? The second two books are much more comprehensive, and the middle book, the 06 one, is the one that I think is the best one, and I think that's the one that Rod is saying is up on eBay for $148. Okay, next up, I've got a couple of I bought these two Sidney Crosbys off of a guy on eBay who I didn't know I knew him, but I ended up knowing him because he sent me a message after. But I picked up they're both from 2012 Fleer Retro, the Essential Credentials future version. This is numbered out of 42 in a PSA 9. So it's like cardboard die cut on acetate, serially numbered. And this, these credentials have some serious like brand equity in basketball, and it's starting to spill over to hockey. And I just love it. I think pink. I mean, a pink hockey card. I don't know. I love it. I think it's cool. And the same guy also had this card, which is the 2012 Fleer Retro Precious Metal Gems, the blue version. This one's numbered out of 50, also in a PSA 9. So, I mean, these are still showing up on eBay. You could easily go see them and find out what I paid for these. Not that you care or need to, but I mean, that's how recently I picked these up, and they came very nice and quick and great cards. I'm very happy with. And
yeah, just love them.
Yeah, thanks. I love them too, dude. I love them too. These next two cards are not from ComC either. So I traded for this with a guy on Instagram. So this is an 0506 Cup base patch parallel Olaf Kolzig out of 10. And these are really hard to find. I collect all the base patch parallels out of 10 or out of 8 from the Cup, not the autograph ones though. So if anyone out there has any, please let me know. I will trade for them or buy them from you. I'm really looking for 0506s. I've maybe got 15 of them now, and there's like 90 in the set, or 100. This is actually card number 100. So there's probably some players didn't have memorabilia, or Upper Deck didn't have memorabilia for them. So anyway, I collect those. So that was a trade I made. And then I just went into Eastridge Hobbies yesterday on my way home from work. And Mike, who owns it, had a bunch of cards that he brought in on a collection he purchased. And so this is a 2005 The Cup gold parallel out of 25 Mario Lemieux, which is just anything 0506 Cup. That's like a very important set in hockey. And a gold Mario Lemieux parallel out of 25. I think it's an important card. I just really like it. And when I got it, I'm like, well, that's in really good shape. I'm going to get that grade. It's going to come back at 10. Then I looked at it closer, and it's not going to come back at 10. It's got a bit of a ding on the top corner, but still a cool card.
Oh, awesome. Do you just a slight sidebar? Would you say 0506 Cup top 5 hockey set of all time?
Great question. I mean, I think yes. I'm going to quickly go to yes, and I'm going to say, in terms of hobby importance, yeah. I mean, you've got the 51 Parkhurst, very important set.
Absolutely.
I think the 23 Patterson set is extremely important. I mean, I think the 1990-91 Upper Deck set is very important for the hobby. I mean, it's it's weird to say that because you can go buy that complete set for probably $25 or even less. But there's so many. What's that?
The game changer, though.
It's a game changer. Exactly. That's why I think it's so important. Like, some people think that the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, the first real card in Upper Deck ever made, in terms of a widely produced. I know they had the samples or whatever. So, but people think that might be the most iconic card in the hobby. Some people will argue that. Yet you can pick them up all day long. So it's like, can you really say that a set you can buy for $25 is among the top 5 most important sets in the hobby? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I think that would be a fun discussion to have, but I think it is an important one. And then 0506 Cup, yeah, I would say certainly with certainty, for my own comfort, like, yes, it would be one of the top 5 most important sets. Is there an argument for that it's 79 O-Picchi that has the Gretzky rookie in it, or the 54 top set, the first top set that came out, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, I agree with you about the Cup. 79 80 O-Picchi, awesome looking set. It's kind of just a one card set in some respects,
for the most part. Yeah. Although
it is cool. I always thought this was cool that Gordie Howe's last card as an active player was in that set, and Wayne's is in that set too. It's just a nice little parallel there.
It's almost like a passing of the torch sort of set, right? It's like, and it's the right on the cusp of the decade, switching over from 79 to 80 and all that. So I agree with you. This next card, this is from ComC, and there's a lot of focus right now on prism cards and gold prisms. Like, gold prisms they're out of 10, they're ridiculous. So when I saw this card on ComC, I'm like, I have to get it, because it just represents last year a lot and this year. But so it's a PSA 10 Kyle Lowry gold pulsar prism, which isn't actually the traditional gold prism, not the base gold. It's another sort of parallel, but this is numbered 9 of 10. And I mean, if this was Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or, you know, a Giannis, or like, this would be like a $20,000 card.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. This is Kyle Lowry, who really is, you know, I mean, especially what he's been doing these last couple of games, he's like the heart and soul of that team. He's been there for a long time. He's certainly the emotional leader. This was like under $150. I'm like, I have to have it. So
yeah, no, it's
so I had it. So I picked it up.
And here, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then I got my stack. So here we go. Here's a stack of other ComC cards. So I'll kind of go through these a little quicker, and they're sort of in a bit of an order. But so these are, this is the 90, I can't remember the year, 97, I think, Donruss Studio Silhouette of Jagger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You've,
right? Like, there's his face in blue, and there it is in flesh tone. So maybe it's better to show them flesh tone on my bald head, right? But these are cool cards. I have the Gretzky too from this year. The Gretzky was a blue card. There's probably like 20 cards in the set, and they all there's a few different colors that were used. There's like a green, a red, a black, a blue, and these are numbered out of 1,500. So it's a big number nowadays, but try and find this card. Like, never mind. You can probably find several of them on eBay. Actually, come to think of it,
depends. I don't think it's that easy to track down.
Yeah, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Some comments come in, and let's just see what we have here. I missed a whole bunch. Sorry, guys. Okay, Getzlaff is almost at 1,000 points. He has a cup, gold medal. He will make it in the Hall of Fame. You know, I couldn't remember if he had that gold medal, and I wasn't sure if he'd make it to 1,000 points either. So I think you're right, Chris, though. Based on those stats, Brian, what do you think?
I didn't realize how close he was to 1,000 points. But yeah, I mean, he's a captain, got the team success, 1,000 points. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer too, then, based on that. Thanks for confirming that, Chris. Paul, LOL, when did you get the blue? I was in until I was out late. The blue Crosby, I mean, I won that in the last 10 days on eBay, and he shipped it really quick. So maybe 2 weeks ago maximum that I won that card on eBay, or I won the card. I won the right to pay for it. Simon, was there essential credentials in PMGs in hockey from the 90s, like in baseball and 90s? No, there wasn't. There was not. The first essential credentials in hockey was in 2008. It's called Fleer EX, I believe. And I think I have some here. I have a couple in the pile. And then again in 2012, and then they did some in future Fleer products, like in Fleer Showcase products. Here's a wicked card that is just beautiful. I bought this on ComC for $2.35. It's numbered out of 1,000. It's in the game, be a player heritage, Teemu Selanne. And I just love the, first of all, he's in his rookie year jersey, number 13. He changed to 8 after his rookie year. And just the blue on because the Jets, you know, had the blue, red, and white, and this card is red. There's two parallels. There's a blue one and a green one. The blue's out of 100 and the green's out of 10. I don't have those, but this is I just thought, what a nice card for less than $2.50. Oh. Like, you can pick up awesome cards for under $5 still. Like, I don't know.
That's what's so great about this hobby. Like that card's gorgeous, and it's pocket change, you know.
Yeah.
And got the 1993 Stanley Cup patch on there, which is my favorite year in hockey. So
yes, totally. Carlos, the best argument for the cup is the rookie class and the long-term significance. Yeah, the rookie class, it's a double rookie class. Never mind a double rookie class. You've got Crosby and Ovechkin, and they're like both generational players.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And it changed the hobby, right? 0506 Cup literally changed, like it changed things. I think there certainly is an argument for that. This is a 1997 Fleer Metal Lethal Weapon Superpower Teemu Selanne. I have a couple of these cards. I just think they're wicked, and I don't know if you can really see how the foil, just the light really makes the foil look super shiny, and different kind of colors bounce off it. And this is a bit of a rarer parallel. And to be honest, I don't know how to tell the difference between the superpower version and the non-superpower version, because it doesn't say superpower on here anywhere. But ComC knows the difference, and that's good enough for me. I like Synergy True Base. So this is a Alexander Ovechkin from 2018. This is numbered out of 18. It's 9 of 18, I believe. It's hard to focus on that, but trust me, 9 of 18. Staying on the Synergy. Synergy does these like, what do we call them? The Easter egg inserts. So the Star Quest came out, and I picked up a pair of these on McDavid and Marc-Andre Fleury. They're yellow. They're coming across as gold right now, it looks like, but these are like yellowy green. So they're looking not really like the way they look. They're actually yellow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the light shining on them. This is from 2013 Fleer Showcase. This is the Star Rubies Alexander Ovechkin out of 50. Really, really cool cards. I think they're undervalued, so I snap them up. They're cheap, and I just don't think we in hockey have caught on to these yet. But I think we're gonna catch on to them more and more, and I think it's an awesome card.
Why do you think there is that reluctance? Because I mean, like just I know this is kind of like a blanket statement, but a lot of things that seem to work well in basketball, they don't seem to translate. I mean, they aesthetically they translate well to hockey. They look great, but collectors just don't seem to jump on them.
I think, you know what? So I talked to the guys at Upper Deck. I talked to Billy specifically quite a bit. And I always say to him, I go, Fleer is where it's at right now, because if we want to grow the hockey hobby, I think it's important to bring Fleer back, because that's what the basketball guys know. And the basketball guys, they'll collect anything, it seems like sometimes, right? There's so much money flying around. So if we want to bring them into hockey, I think we need to use the Fleer. We need to use Fleer to lure them in a little bit. And it's kind of that's why I think cards like this they have so much potential, because now this isn't Fleer, this is Skybox, but it's from Fleer Showcase. But even Skybox, it has almost that same attractiveness in basketball that Fleer does. So I think, and what Billy has said to me is that hockey just doesn't like Fleer. I'm like, you're going to see, that's going to change, and you guys will start using Fleer again. Trust me. And I bet on that. But
hope to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know why hockey people don't like it as much. Maybe because there wasn't as much of it. I don't know. I just think we're behind, to be honest. I think we're behind, and I think we will catch up. So staying on that kind of pathway here, or that brand, if you will, I've got a 2012 Fleer Showcase. This is the Playmakers Theater Alexander Ovechkin, numbered out of 100 on the back. One of the only serially numbered cards from Fleer Retro. So this is 2012 Fleer Retro. So the numbering is hard to see, but it's right there over my finger. In there, you can kind of see the reflection of it. Right there, it is 55 of 100. So I get this one. I look and I'm like, wait, that's miscut. This is way off center, top to bottom. They cut off the top of the Playmakers Theater logo there.
Oh, wow.
But just to tell people about this card, if this was the Michael Jordan Playmakers Theater from 1997 or 96, it's like a $40,000 card. And this is, an homage to that card. So, hey, it's Alexander Ovechkin. It's just, and it's licensed and all that. Staying on topic, Hot Shots of Teemu Selanne. Again, this was under $10 on ComC, and it's in really good condition. These are fragile cards with that crazy die cut going on, but I'll buy them up. I mean, someone I think there's a Crosby one on eBay, and I have like 2 or 3 of them already. I almost bought it today, but the guy I offered, he counter offered. I just didn't buy it. 2013 Fleer Showcase, Sidney Crosby, Jambalaya.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I love these cards. The lighting is ruining the color. This is a really nice orange and a really nice green. It looks kind of mustardy and orange on there. But that's a cool card.
But no, the Jambalaya are cool cards, and
they are cool. And another one, in basketball, they're monster cards, right? What does Eric say? That Griffey Jr. card will always be iconic. I was really excited to pick it up for that reason. There will always be those cards. Yeah, totally, Eric. There will always be those cards that it's like, I never want to say that you need to have this card if you collect it. If you collect hockey cards, you need a Gretzky rookie. I do think that, but I never want to tell somebody what they have to have, But there will always be those cards that, generally speaking, in the hobby, represent the hobby to so many people, because how many people in the United States would recognize that Griffey Jr. card from back in 1989-90 when they were collecting them, that haven't thought of cards since then? That's a card that they all would remember, and even some that didn't collect probably do.
Oh yeah,
Joe liked my Lowry. Thanks, Joe. Oh, where did that go? Lots of comments. Look at Jeremy, the basketball sniper. Yes, sir. Donruss Studio 97. That was the Jagger. There was an 8x10 of those as well. That's right. They made these big 8x10s. To me, I don't want the big one. I like cards. I like standard size cards for me anyway.
You get the 8x10s, you get a bunch of picture frames and put it in your living room and just be really weird.
Yeah, right. Donruss Studio cards. Eric says Tom Glavine refers to his 91 or 92 Donruss Studio as his glamour shot. Yeah,
I remember that set. That is an awkward set.
Yeah, awkward is a great word. A great word for that, for sure. Yeah, Chris says that was a hilarious set. That's another good word for it. Name says 0506 the Cup also has Rene Bourque. Yes, they do. An Indigenous player who played here for the Calgary Flames for a few years. And I was a big fan of Rene Bourque when he was here. He was a fun player for us. Carlos, that basically seals it. I'm comfortable putting him over the Crosby as the number 2. Hilarious. Chris, I started picking some of those up because of you, Jeremy, the Lethal Weapon superpowers. Yeah, hey man, honored that you are, and I don't blame you. They're super cool cards that we just don't see in today's product. And you'll see, I love today's products too, but they're awesome cards. There's some really cool cards from that Fleer Metal set that had a Lethal Weapon parallel. There's a goalie theme set. I can't remember what it's called. I think there's 2 or 3 of them in that. 0506 was like 0304 Exquisite Basketball. Well, it was exactly like 0304 Exquisite Basketball. You're right. It was the first time they put out a set like that in hockey. So, and it was meant to be hockey's version. So for sure. Difference between regular and superpower is refractor type finish for supers versus just foil type for the regular. Yeah, I'd like to put them side by side. I might order one from ComC just to put them side by side to see what that looks like. Thank you. Carlos confirms. Eric says it's the 91 Studio Glavine. May have to get one. Those and the 92 Bowman rookies like Mariano and Chipper showing off the 90s fashion. Yeah. Star Rubies are huge in basketball. Really sought after cards. Yes, Simon, I know they are. And they're not. The difference is in basketball, they came out in the 90s. In hockey, they came out in 2012. But in hockey or in basketball, when basketball Fleer Retro came out, it wasn't licensed, but hockey was. So to me, it's just as good as if it was 90s because it's the first licensed issue of these particular sets. And there's arguments against that, I'm sure. I like that. You're not going to argue with Carlos about that, Rene Bourque. Hockey collectors in general seem to be more old school than collectors of other sports. And yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Brian, right?
Oh yeah. Do you remember back in 0506, there were some sets with some of the rookies that the jersey patches and the swatch patches, they were like the black and orange from the All-Star jerseys in the 80s?
Yes.
And people just hated them. But the reason I think at the time Robitaille said was that they had done something similar in basketball with them wearing photo shoot jerseys, retro All-Star jerseys. And it was a huge hit in basketball. It just didn't translate to hockey. And ever since then, I've always kind of, just two completely different collecting bases. But
totally. The ones that I remember, I don't know if I'm thinking about the same thing you are, but the ones I remember were like Gretzky and Yzerman had them in like 03 or 04 Ultimate Collection, I think it was. That's what I'm thinking of. So I think you might be thinking of something different, but sounds familiar still. Star Rubies were in Skybox Premium in basketball, not Fleer. Yeah, so now I guess Upper Deck owns Skybox and Upper Deck owns Fleer, so they put them both in the Fleer Retro set. I think that was that Fleer Retro or was it Showcase? No, it's Fleer Retro. Yeah. What's this? It has no pedigree in hockey. Fleer. Well, I mean, yeah, because Fleer didn't exist in hockey until the 90s, where it existed in baseball going back. Baseball in the 80s, I think the early 82, 83, something like that, 84 for sure. And in basketball, 86. So hockey's only 7 years behind, right? We had Fleer Ultra Hockey in like 1992.
I love that. 92, 93 Fleer Ultra.
Right? they were beautiful cards. I love the name bar across the bottom. They were sharp looking cards. But there is some it's got pedigree. It just doesn't have any equity, right? Like there's a bit of a distinction there.
Yeah.
So many of these big boy sets in basketball. Yeah, they're big boy sets in basketball, 100%. I got more coming here. Making his 90s b-ball collector a happy man. Thanks, man. Some of the hockey rookies wore those jerseys. I seem to recall Ryan Clough rookie stuff with orange swatches. I remember that too, but I think that was that not a that wasn't a San Jose Sharks jersey then? That was something else.
No, because I collected Alexander Steen, and in some of the ultimate collection, some of his jersey swatches are like orange and black, and
that's right. I remember those. Those are all from All Star. Same year, yeah. Fleer, Donruss came in the same year, so it's got to be 82, I think it was. Anyway, I'm sure someone can correct us. Okay, I'll keep going here. Some Prism cards that I picked up. This is just I'm in Calgary, and it was so cheap. This is the Prism Sean Monahan rookie from 2013 Panini Prism, and this is the silver Prisms parallel. So again, this was like super cheap. And then I did manage to pick up 2 gold Prisms. This is a Taylor Hall from 2013. And again, like if this was basketball, a common guy in basketball is now like hundreds of dollars. This was under $20, I think. But I might have got lucky. This one is really cool though. And a PSA 10 of this card just sold for $700 US. This is a 2013 Prism Gold Gordie Howe. Yeah, nice. Numbered 9 of 10 on the back. So it's even jersey numbered, which I honestly didn't realize until right now. So
you're cool. That, eh?
Right. That's kind of I didn't put that together, but there it is, 9 of 10 on the back. And this is it's like minty condition. So this is really cool. And like cheap, like $40, I think I got it for. But I bought this a couple months ago on ComC, so it just came in. And now we get into essential credentials. I've got a whole bunch of these here. These are a bunch from 2014 Fleer Ultra Hockey. So I'll kind of go through them a little quicker. This is Mike Bossy, number 5 of 11. You can see me right through there, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of. Anyway, 5 of 11. Again, die-cut cardboard on an acetate backing, which is, I love that combination so much. I just love it. And then we have Joe Sakic, number 5 of 13. This is Ryan Getzlaff again, 24 of 39.
The Ryan Getzlaff.
Yeah. Here's one I didn't want to add, but I did because the price was right, and it's out of only 16 of these made, but Corey Perry, by far not one of my favorite players in the NHL.
He played here. Still,
yeah, right. Alex Petrangelo out of 21, pretty rare card. Maybe he'll stay in St. Louis, maybe he won't. Luke Robitaille out of 36, and it's not like this is Crosby or Ovechkin or Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, but when you're picking these up for well under $20 or 18, 16, 18, 8, like that kind, it's like, how do you not pick them up with store credit on ComC? Evgeny Malkin out of 36, and Jonathan Taves out of 25.
Robitaille, I mean,
sorry, I missed you. You cut out a bit there. What did you say? Oh, you're frozen.
Oh, sorry. Brian. I was just saying back to Robitaille.
What about it?
Oh, just the Robitaille. I was saying, like, he's a guy with 600 goals, and you'd think it'd be more.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Robitaille is underloved in the hobby, I would say. I mean, one of the best left wingers of all time, although I give that to Alexander Ovechkin now, but second best left winger of all time, perhaps. I'm sure there's others out there. Let's hear them. Let's hear them, everybody. This is this is from the Fleer Retro 2012. This is out of 40, another pink essential credentials, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And again, not a player I collect, but he's still with a team at least, 8 years later. And again, for the price, you just can't go wrong for these things. I think people are sleeping at the wheel. And again, so here's the first year of essential credentials. I call them essential credentials. I think they're called EX, actually, but this is 2009. Teemu Selanne. I picked up a pair of them. They're out of 92. So it's not exactly sharp print, but they're so pretty. I picked up 2 of them. Again, this is and it doesn't look good, but this is like it's a really nice sort of green, and it's a green acetate. It's looking a little yellowy or mustardy. I'm trying to keep the light out, but just again, die cut cardboard on acetate colored acetate background. I think they're wicked. On to some O-Pee-Chee Platinum, 4 O-Pee-Chee Platinum cards. I picked up this Crosby. This is the Royal Blue Cubes from 2017, number to 99. Another just really fun card to look at. And, of course, Sidney Crosby. And then this is the Emerald Surge from 2018, Jonathan Toews out of 10.
Oh, nice.
This is a beautiful card, by the way. The green is not showing up. This is a gorgeous emerald. If you've seen a good scan on eBay, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then these two. So I have a thing for O-Pee-Chee Platinum. So I picked up the Golden Treasures, Patrick Laine, 1 of 1.
Ooh.
Which again, not my favorite Winnipeg Jet at all, but I mean, if he turns into something, this will be a big card, you know. And he's had a great year, but he needs to now stop playing Fortnite and play more hockey and really, you know. But hopefully he does. So I picked up that one. And then my favorite Golden Treasure I have to date is the Alexander Ovechkin from 2018 as well.
Wow.
These are 1 of 1s, these Golden Treasures. This really nice 1 of 1 stamp on the back. And this is one that I kind of like because this one wasn't cheap on ComC, but it's a card that I knew if it got like it was on my watch list for a couple months. And I finally sold a bunch of stuff on ComC, had money in the account. Like, I got to get it before someone snags it because, you know, it's one of those things. Someone's going to get it, and I'm going to wish that I put money in and grabbed it. But so I'm glad I got that. And then the last card for this mail week for me is from Upper Deck 2019 Series 2 Hockey. And I picked it up really on a bit of a gamble, if you will. It's, you know, the fluorescence.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Which is kind of like Upper Deck's take on precious metal gems to put something. It's kind of inspired by PMGs, I'd say. So this is the Capo Caco purple, numbered out of 5. So this might be his rarest rookie card that isn't like a 1 of 1 shield or something like that or whatever we'll end up seeing. But to me, I like that was a pretty cool card. And if this player becomes something, this could be a big card. So I kind of took a gamble because I don't necessarily collect Capo Caco. Actually, I don't. This is my only card of him. But I thought the price was fair, and there's only 5 of them made, and he was the number 2 pick overall. Yep, number 2 pick overall, plays for an original 6 city. If he becomes something, and in talking to Chris Barr, when I had Chris Barr from Panini on the show, and you know, Panini has his autograph rights, Chris was saying he couldn't say enough nice things about what a good dude this guy was. And when I hear things like that, it warms me up. How about you?
Well, yeah, I think it's always easier to cheer for a guy that, you know, seems like a nice guy. And yeah, I think that, you know, there are guys I'll get cards because they seem like, you know, good players active in the community. And yeah, I mean, with Caco, I don't think he had a really good rookie year, but I mean, you got Lafreniere coming in, and Panarin's there.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good, solid investment. You know, I'm not a hockey expert, but I think you know, Caco's obviously still young, right? So
yeah, they got Zibanejad, and they've got these young goalies, Georgiev and Shesterkin. I mean, they're like they're an up and coming team right now. They're like kind of like the East's Vancouver Canucks sort of thing. And the Canucks, boy, what a finish last night, like 0-0 with 7 minutes left. But I was hoping for them, but I think the Canucks have a great future. That's a team that I'm not a fan of the team. I'm not a Canucks fan at all, but I love their team right now. I'd be excited to be a fan of the Vancouver Canucks right now.
They got a lot of fun young players to watch.
Oh, yeah. Quinn Hughes, Pedersen, Horvat, Besser. Yeah. Great lineup there.
I think it's just that residual, you know, 2010, 2011 Vancouver Canucks team that really like prevents me from saying, yeah, these are a great group of players. You know, it's still that Ryan Kessler, Alex Burrows residual hate. Right. You know,
I know, and that's just it. That team has transitioned from where it was to where it is now so much. They're such a different team now that I'm a fan of that team. I'm not a Vancouver. It's weird to say I'm not a Vancouver Canucks fan, but it's like the players on that team are very exciting. So Carlos confirms Fleer and Donruss came in 1981. Thank you, Carlos. Joe says early prisms are just fire. Yes, they are. Also says no picking up early basketball prism for $20. No, there is not. Even the unknown common guys are in the hundreds of dollars now for those prism cards. Let's see if you bought the Duncan Keith I was looking at. I did not, Chris. I did not, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. Carlos says you can probably get a high-res printed scan of one for $20 or a fridge magnet of one, right? You can get a fridge magnet or a reprint.
So.
Yeah. Peter North here. Hi, Jeremy. Hey, Peter. Good to see you. An adult film star and co-owner of the North Stars. Awesome stream. Thank you, Peter North. Great old adult film star and co-owner of the North Stars. You, Peter, you're an old adult film star and co-owner of the North Stars. That's cool. Well, thanks for joining. Good-looking honky, Nova Scotia, Halifax born. Awesome. Welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you. Hey, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. Sports Cards Live. Be happy to have you as subscribers and see you in more episodes. Simon says the essential credentials Fleer hockey are cool because they're in team uniforms. They look like their 90s basketball version, unlike Fleer retro basketball where they were in college jerseys. Yeah, 100% agree with that. However, even those Fleer retro essential credentials in college jerseys can command some huge dollars. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of the Fleer retro basketball because of that. I want NBA jerseys for myself. So I would go to the 90s if I could afford to go to the 90s and buy those because they're super expensive. Is it bad that I know Peter from some films? I don't know that I'd be advertising it, but I don't call it bad. And hey, I mean,
hey, it is Sports Cards Live after hours, right? So.
Right. Smaller audience here tonight, Terry. So don't worry about it. Your word is safe with me. You too, Brian, right?
Won't tell anybody.
Yeah, won't tell anybody. What else can we talk about? Anything else, Brian? I mean, wow. And there we go. An hour and 6 minutes already with the first minute me not even knowing we were live.
We got off a good start. There was one thing I'm a huge fan of O-Pee-Chee. Is it called Platinum now?
Yeah.
So it's late here, and my mind's not working as well as it should. I love the look at it. I love the parallels. Do you think that could be almost like hockey's Prism?
Yes, I think it is. I think it is hockey's Prism because you have beautiful cards. They're on beautiful, shiny paper, and there's enough parallels that it reminds you of Prism.
Yeah. Yeah.
The numbering is nice. It's some, you notice sometimes some of these crash numberings aren't attractive number. The serial numbering itself is just kind of doesn't look good. They look good on the back of these cards. I think it's a weird thing to say, but I notice these details and they're underappreciated right now. And if you think about it in the long run, it's things that are underappreciated that end up becoming something. So to me, it's like I'm not alone in looking for cards that I think are going to be more appreciated down the road and therefore more highly valued. So it's like we're trying to look for the next Prisms or Prism Golds, and that's, I think O-Pee-Chee Platinum is a candidate for that. So I pick up some of the lower numbered parallels like 99 or under. I love the Emerald Surges out of 10, and I love the Seismic Golds out of 50. And I like as well the orange checkers that are out of 25, but they're out of 25, which is cool, but I do prefer the gold Seismics just to look at them. And then I love the Golden Treasures. They're so cool. And all they have gold vinyls and basketball. And I think there's something to be said for that. I picked up another Golden Treasures just today on eBay. I went back and forth with a guy, like after dinner, just before I went live, I picked up the Tyler Sagan. The guy had it on eBay. We went back and forth with offers. I ended up paying like $10 more than I wanted to. So not bad. But there's another one. I've got a Jonathan Taves from that year that I've had for a bit longer. So maybe have about half a dozen of them. And I think they're pretty cool. What else do we have? Let's just look at some more comments here for a second. Here's a slogan for a shirt. It's not what you know, it's what you admit to. Yeah, that's true. That's funny. Don't worry, Terry, your secret is safe with us and the rest of the internet. Yeah, ... and the rest of the internet. Paul says, LOL, new spinoff, Sports Cards Live After Dark. This is after hours. Now we need the fourth hour. Hey, Paul, the After Dark, where we don't even talk about sports cards. We just talk about other crazy stuff. So I do want to go back to the earlier episode with Bobby for a second, because we were both so pleased during the episode and even after we chatted for another 10 minutes. And the question that Tim Marin asked about the Gretzky rookie, and is there really such a thing as a first print and a second print? I mean, that's such an old wives' tale sort of thing, such a myth in the hobby that has just become like common knowledge. But I think we kind of if enough people see that video and see both of us kind of logically talking it through and adding Bobby's new information about this barrel thing and all that, like, could that change? What do you think, Brian? Could that change people's opinion, or are we just too small of an audience to even have an impact?
I don't think it's really much the size of an audience thing. I just think that people don't like to change their opinions that they've had for a long time. I mean, if they have, one with the blue lines and they think it's a first printing and they've had that forever, they're not going to want to admit that it's not, I think a lot of people can be pretty entrenched with that. I mean, hopefully, like, newer people in the hobby that are looking for Gretzky rookies, they can see that and they can learn, like, okay, it doesn't really matter what the blue lines are on the back. It's not, there shouldn't be a premium to that. So hopefully, like newer people can take that knowledge and make more informed decisions. But I mean, it'd be great if people change their opinion. But if someone had paid a premium for one with the blue lines, I can't see, like, watching this saying, well, you know what, I was wrong for paying more for it.
Yeah. It's almost like a flawed card or an error card. It's not, I call it like a flawed card. It's like a printing error. It's a printing error card to a degree. But it's such a minor thing that you can barely even notice. Like, who cares, But I was glad I was so glad, in preparing for that episode, I never even thought about that question. So both Bobby and I were, like, just so happy that we got to talk about that. To me, that was the most important part of the whole show, was that discussion. And I didn't even plan to talk about it. So I was really, really happy about that.
It's cool that the factory is actually about 15 minutes from where I am right now, where the old factory was in downtown London.
I wonder if you know anybody that ever worked there, or kids of anyone that worked there. Like, it'd be interesting to go do like a search for somebody, a hunt for an old O-Pee-Chee employee, and get more information, not just about the Gretzky card, because they wouldn't even probably know. It's like, it's such a non-issue back then, but more information from O-Pee-Chee just to learn about it, because it's such an important part of the hobby, especially the hockey hobby.
I do remember, because the old factory, they moved out to a newer building when I was a kid. And a friend of my dad's worked on, they changed the building into an apartment building, so they kind of gutted it. And I remember hearing about them finding sheets of O-Pee-Chee cards, like, while they were, like, gutting it and remodeling it. So, like, I'd love to, reach out to him and say, like, did you keep any of those sheets? What else did you find? But
what else did you find? Right, the sheets are certainly one thing, but if you bought that building to convert it into a condo building, and then you came across those uncut sheets, like, those sheets could have been worth more than the building. Like, depends what was there.
Bad part of town now. So
is it?
Yeah,
pretty cool still. Carlos says, you already tried the Extra Late show. We need the sports cards, Carson Daly show. I did what, a couple weekends ago. I was thinking to myself, hey, I'm going to go live again. And actually, this is an idea I'm going to put out there. I have a pretty extensive eBay watch list and complete like ended items sort of thing. Like, right now, I think about 200 items in my watch list, and 70 are still ongoing. Like, 130 are completed. And I thought to myself, would it be interesting for anybody for me to do an episode where I share my screen and I show the items that are ended in my watch list, and kind of explain maybe why I was watching them, why I found them interesting, because I saved them, because I want to refer back and be able to quickly see what cards have sold for. I put that out there to you guys. If it's something anyone would find interesting, I might come back on, have Carlos join me, if he's willing to, of course, and kind of do a side commentary with me about that. But if anyone's interested, let me know. I would consider that. I think because I don't know anyone else that's doing that on YouTube right now, and especially it'd be well, it's all sports, but not much football. Maybe no football, but there's hockey, basketball, and a little bit of baseball cards in there out of those like 130 currently ended items. But if anyone thinks that would be interesting, let me know in the comments, and I'd consider doing something like that at some point.
I would watch that. 100%.
Okay.
Honestly, I thought when we started talking about, I thought where you were going was you're going to like have a live stream of you bidding on the cards that we're ending.
I don't know that I would. That would be hilarious, but I don't know that I want to show people my I don't know. but I definitely show the ended items in my watch list. I think that'd be kind of cool. What does Chris say? Oh, sorry, I missed it. Paul says, I really like Upper Deck's Allure. I bought a box today, open tonight with sports cards live in the background just to get an in-person look at the parallels. Some I'm not a fan of. I get it, Paul. I think the Allures they have a really nice like surface finish to them. The shine is really cool. But yeah, like some of those, I don't know if they're parallels or inserts that kind of have that pinkish tone to them. I didn't love them, but overall, I think it's a nice product. I think it's going to be a very popular product. I know. And I was watching another guy on YouTube. He goes by PSA Collector. The guy's got like 30,000 subscribers. And he was doing a bit of a hockey episode. And he was talking about the Allures. Carlos and I were talking about it a few days ago. And he was really, really digging the Allures and the Jack Hughes and the rookies and the Kakos and all that. So, and he's got some influence in the hobby for better or for worse. And so they could catch on, actually. Chris says it is, I don't know what that is, Ocom's Razor. Your version is the simplest explanation. I don't know what he's talking about. Do you, Brian?
Yeah, Occam's razor, it's an old axiom. It just says that the simplest explanation for something is the most likely explanation for it.
I love it. I'm surprised I've never heard that term before, but your version is the simplest. Yeah, right. Sometimes it's the simple. Yeah, that makes great sense. Thanks for that, Chris. I love it. Imagine being the first guy that thought, hey, this is a first print, and then selling it for a premium. Yeah. I mean, I've done that. I've sold them for premiums because I know people will pay for them, and I don't mind. I don't mind selling them for a premium, but I'm not going to tell you it's a first print. I'll tell you, it's got the blue lines on the back. If you think that means first print, that's going to cost you some extra money, and I'm happy to take it. Like,
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
No, right? Paul, it seems like the only people who think the blue line are important are the ones who own them. Yeah, or the ones who, but some people, I've had people come to my booth at Expo and they want to buy a rookie, a Gretzky rookie from me, and they want one with blue lines. So, or people, that them too. They do too. My obsession with Alyssa Milano turned up an interesting video. That's interesting, Terry. This isn't Sports Cards Live way after dark yet. Not yet anyway. I've already called shotgun on the Ed McMahon spot. Yes. I would watch it too. Okay, house phone. That's good to know. And welcome to the show. I haven't seen you yet tonight. Thanks for joining. Eric, you're into it. Cool. Hey, we can do some. I won't do it tonight. We're already at the hour 17 mark here. Paul says, one argument I'd heard for the blue lines is it's harder to forge. Not sure that forgery of that card is prevalent. It is prevalent. Forgery of that card is prevalent. I have 4 different fake counterfeit copies of it myself that I take to shows just to help educate people. So I've been thinking about doing a video on fake Gretzky rookies because I feel like I have some knowledge in that department.
I think that'd be important.
Jeremy has sniped cards live before. Yes, I have. Hey guys, you guys know what it's like. If you're a card collector and there's a card you need, you buy it no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. If you're at a wedding, if you're getting married, excuse me, sweetheart, I can't kiss you yet. All right, I'll kiss you now. I like the PSA guy. He's good, says Eric. The PSA collector guy. His name's Matt. Yeah, he's a great producer of his videos. I think he's newer to the hobby, and he approaches it, I believe, from a buy to flip sort of perspective. He's a short-term card flipper, which I think we need in the hobby. It's part of our ecosystem to have guys like that. And I'm certainly not gonna say he's not good. But I think that when him and others give advice on cards to buy, you really have to go into that with a critical eye, your own thinking, and do your own research, and don't just take advice of anybody on don't take these guys, their advice blindly. Take it in, consider it, do your own research, and then make sure you agree with them before you just go follow their buying advice. And I'm not saying they're telling you to buy stuff, because I don't watch enough of their videos or his videos and some others, but he's put out some excellent videos, that's for sure. And he's passionate. I love his passion for the hobby. He loves it, and I love it. So him and I have that in common. And if I ever get to meet him, I'm sure we'll be friends. Like he's probably a great guy. PSA collectors all about flipping and profit. Not my thing personally. Yeah, I'm not into the hobby for that either, Simon. Sometimes I will buy a collection from somebody because I know I'm going to go to card shows. I'm going to set up and I need inventory and I need to pay for my bills. So I will buy cards to flip, but I'm a collector first, and my personal collection basically certainly backs that up, right? But do you ever buy cards to flip, Brian? Or do you ever flip cards?
Very rarely will I buy a card with the sole intention of flipping it. I might buy a card. Sometimes I'll buy a card if for for a younger guy that I might want down the road, and it'll be more expensive down the road. But if it turns out I don't want them, then I can sell it for a little bit of profit. But I'm more towards the collector spectrum than the investor.
Same here. If I buy a card for my personal collection, it's going to be tough for me to ever sell it, or tough for anyone to get to buy it from me. But so for yourself, Brian, though, when you buy a card, you're buying it with the intention of keeping it for a very long time. But if you get tired of it for some reason, or if you buy another card that makes that one kind of redundant or unnecessary in your collection, like a new card kind of takes its spot, you might then move it just because you don't need it anymore and free up some money for something else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've sold a lot of cards too, but I when I buy them, it's the intention of keeping them. Like the Ricky Henderson autograph I had. Before that I had an autograph card of him as an Oakland A, and then when I got that one, I sold the other one.
Yeah, so, exactly. I get it.
Always theory.
Yeah. I just want to go to this comment here. Terry says I would have been dumpster diving. Okay. That's out of context for me, Terry, but I'm sure it's funny, and I think it's funny. Eric says I'm
factory.
So Eric, go ahead, B.
Maybe that was in reference
to
the beach factory.
There you go. Thank you. Eric says I'm fairly new too. I'm a year in on the 7th. Well, I want to say to that, Eric, I want to genuinely say welcome to the hobby, because, and I mean that, like it's because here's an opportunity to make another friend, meet somebody else, and not only that, but the 7th, like you're almost at your first year anniversary in the hobby. So that's something. And I'd love to kind of hear like what your take is on things. Cause this is legit my, let's see, I'm 48 years old. I think I first saw, it's like my 40th or 41st year in the hobby, honestly. Like, so I can't even imagine being in it for only a year. Like, I don't even know what that would look like. Like, what, like, are you just overwhelmed by everything? Like, there's so much out there. If you go back in time, what comes out now, like I have the advantage of growing up with it. So I know the history of the hobby. I can look at a card and pretty much tell you what year it's from. I wonder, coming in fresh now, boy, it must be exhilarating and kind of scary, like a bunch of things. Overwhelming, 100%, right? For sure. Carlos says, my call, but you've already got the East Coasters online, so time is apparently an illusion. Yeah, I'm getting tired though. I can't go much longer here. We'll go for another 5 minutes or so. Eric says, so true. I think that's about kind of really assessing things yourself, taking the information you're learning from people who are out there giving information on YouTube, myself, Carlos, Matt from PSA Collector, anybody who's got a channel out there, right? Joe says, more intersection between collecting soccer and hockey, or soccer and say basketball or baseball? That's a cool question. Do you have any thoughts on that, Brian?
I'd say maybe like soccer and basketball. I see a lot of overlap there. That's just my first thought on that.
Nope. So do I. That's where I was that was my answer too. I see more intersection between soccer and basketball than I do soccer and hockey, even though it's kind of closer to hockey, right? You got these goals around the ground at the end, you got goaltenders and all that, but I see lots of basketball people going into soccer. I see them coming into hockey now too. Even again, Matt, PSA Collector, did an episode, or like a half of his episode was dedicated to hockey the other day, and that was kind of cool because he's bringing attention to it, and I'm good with that. Eric, you're collecting old Topps football. Well, that's really cool. Okay, so you quit in '86 and came back in. The more overwhelming, the better. I love it. Great attitude. You don't collect hockey yet? Well, if you keep on watching my show, because I'm a hockey guy first, kind of basketball second, and then baseball, maybe we can kind of reel you in a little bit. Happy to do that. And if you ever have any questions, just, fire away. Simon, funny, I'm coming to you from the future. It's 4 p.m. Sunday here. Yeah, that's funny. That's what's cool about today's world, right? We can communicate with people across the world. Eric, but it's the only thing I can find retail. Feel I should. So, hockey. Okay, well, hey, go check it out. Hockey's a fun sport to watch. I recommend you watch a game. Watch a game before you really jump in, because I think that will solidify your choice for you, because it's the most exciting game there is. Like, baseball's not exciting, let's face it. Football's exciting for maybe 3 full minutes every 60. Basketball's exciting, probably to me the second most, but hockey is it's lots of action. Soccer is going to grow very quickly. It's a massive sport worldwide. Yep, can't argue that and won't. It's fun coming back into the hobby, catching up and filling in some holes in the collection from the years I was at it collecting, Eric. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, Eric, we have 2 Erics. Eric Stefano agrees. Name says it's only 10:45 where you are. Don't shut her down yet. The night is young. Yeah, Name's on the West Coast in Kelowna, BC. Hey, lifetime baseball fan. Settle down. How dare you? I didn't say anything bad about baseball myself, did I? It's not exciting. It's not exciting. Well, it isn't. It can be very, like when Joe Carter hit that home run in 1991, I think it was. I mean, that was one of the most exciting sports moments I've ever had. I'll tell you, that buzzer beater by OG last night, or the night before, I'm losing my nights, was maybe the second most exciting. Although Teemu Solani's 54th goal was very exciting, because I was at that game too. There's a few. Okay, Eric, so you've watched hockey. Sorry, I don't mean to. Sorry for kind of making assumptions that were completely false, but welcome to the hockey hobby, man. Welcome to the hockey hobby. Sometimes it's hockey exciting, but I sometimes have trouble following the puck. That's a good point. It can be tough to follow the puck. And I was told by somebody, a buddy of mine a long time ago, he said, if you ever want to know, usually what confuses people in hockey, never mind following the puck, it's like a penalty was called. I didn't see a penalty, because you don't know what to look for. So a friend of mine once said, watch where the puck was, not where it is. If you want to know where a penalty is being called, watch where the puck was. So I kind of do that now once in a while. Billy says, all sports is boring besides hockey and MMA. Well, Billy, I mean, MMA, basketball's not that boring, I don't think. I mean, it can be very exciting, but
I find basketball pretty exciting, yeah.
Yeah, the difference is they walk up the court a lot of the time. Like they walk from the defensive zone to the offensive zone, and then they start passing it around to find their shot. And when they go for those, sometimes those real aggressive shots are very exciting. 2 a.m. where Ernie is, first CFL and now baseball. Sorry, Paul. I'm just pooping on all the sports, right?
Jeremy.
Oh boy, not making any friends here tonight, am I, Brian? Not tonight. Carlos, don't make me come on here. Somebody will get hour 5 while I fix this baseball slander. You tell him, Carlos. I love it. All good. Awesome. That's how Carlos has so much time to write his jokes, Jeremy. He does it while watching baseball. Hey, there we go. Back at you, Carlos. Back at you. Opeachy Factory.
Yeah, yeah. You talking about having it?
Right. I would have been, Terry, we should go see if we can find one of those dumpsters. I'll drive out there with you. This is how they did it in the 90s when Fox got the rights to broadcast. They had this glowing puck, and one just sold recently. I think someone was showing me sometime, especially Tiger Games. What's that about?
Detroit Tiger Games? They're from Detroit?
I don't think so. I don't think she'd be talking about Detroit Tigers. What are you talking about, Billy? I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Joe says, what you guys think? LeBron going to win a ring this year? I don't know, man. I think Kawhi has a better chance. Is he still in it? Yeah, he's still in it.
They're playing Denver. Clippers and Nuggets.
I think he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance to win it for sure. But is he gonna? I mean, only if he's really saving his best stuff for the next round or two. Simon says, I don't get NFL, far too slow and methodical and structured for me. All our football is nonstop action. Fair comment. A lot of people don't like watching football. That's why I said you got like 3 minutes of of action in a 60-minute game. Oh, don't question my Time Lord powers. I won't, Carlos. I don't question much that you say or do, Carlos. You know what you're talking about. Yes, Detroit Tiger game. It was a reply to Chris's post about jokes. Got it. Thank you, Billy. Clippers lost to Denver tonight. What's the score in that series? That's 1-0 Denver then, isn't it? That just started, or
I'm not sure.
And Chris confirms those Fox pucks are highly sought after, right? That's hockey history right there for sure. And they're game used. And I'd love to have one. I don't know what I would do with it because they're so, I guess I'd put in a little puck holder and put it back up there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Brian, anything else? We're an hour 30 right now. This is longer than I wanted to go. It's late. I'm losing my voice. Any parting words? Anyone else have any parting comments? Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up and I'm going to hit the sack.
Yeah, it sounds good. We didn't get to talk about 1987 Topps Alf cards, but I think it was an overall pretty good show.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, it's been great to have you. Really enjoyed it. You've been an easy co-host for me tonight. Here we go. 1-1. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Eric, you have a good one too. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been great having you. Everybody else, just want to say good night. Good night to you. Thank you. Appreciate it. This was fun. I must say I'm so much more relaxed during this after hours show than I am the first show. It's just I feel like I just can talk quieter and everything. I don't know what it is, but it's been fun. Brian, thanks so much. Legion, thank you guys. We're gonna end it. Brian, parting words from you, and then we're done.
Just thanks for having me on, Jeremy. It's been a blast. I had a great time. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to next week's shows too.
Thanks, man. I appreciate having you. Carlos says, "Good job, Brian." Thanks, Carlos, for saying that. Brian, it was really the best part about this is just being able to chill, relax, and have some friendly hobby banter, hobby freestyling, as I like to call it, and that's what we did here. So. Thanks for joining. Eric Westrom, thank you again to you as well. Joe, let the good times roll, buddy. Good to see you tonight. All right, everybody. Thanks again. What a great night this was. Back on Wednesday and again next Saturday. Go Raptors and whatever teams you're cheering for, I wish them all. So thank you and good night. Brian, stay right there. Good night, everybody. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
Good night, everyone. I
think we're done, but it kind of doesn't. It rolls and rolls and rolls, and then it ends.